Welcome to the Unashamed podcast with Phil and Jace Roberts.
You screwed up the first take so you could do a bad joke?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God that happened.
Welcome to the Whatchagonnawannado podcast. I'm Kevin Clark.
Oh, Scott Weaver, I believe.
Caleb Clark.
Welcome to our second podcast.
And the last.
Perhaps.
For all those that enjoyed our first podcast, we've got a lot of great feedback so far. Anyway, this week we're going to be talking about vacation disasters.
So everybody wants to be a part of it. Talk about podcast disasters.
Please ignore our dog.
He just needs attention.
He just needs attention.
Yeah, we're talking about vacation disasters this week.
Okay.
Our family has been on a few.
Vacations?
Vacation.
Okay.
I wouldn't say they were complete disasters, but they were, nonetheless, they were National Lampoon-esque.
Yeah.
Hey, they were eventful.
Like they were very
Like
eventful.
grandma died and you tied her to the...
Almost.
Oh, my.
Okay. Not quite.
Not quite, but your grandma did make a comment about that.
I don't know if you can say stuff like that.
Was your grandma Imogene Coca?
I had talked to my mom to get some feedback from her on our Disney vacation when I was a kid.
Oh, Disney. That sounds nice. How was that?
Caleb's very bitter about Disney.
No, I just wanted to know. I've heard about Disney. I know a lot of Super Bowl winners get to go. Most other children.
Most other children.
We never took them on a Disney vacation.
Oh,
How many times did you get to go?
I only went twice.
Oh, that's a lot. More than zero.
We went a couple times.
Did Mom ever go?
I think she did.
A couple times, probably.
No, once.
Oh, that's once more than I've gone.
Once more.
So total 3.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Just trying to...
Is this part of the disaster?
It is now. It's becoming a disaster.
So you enjoy Disney twice? Is that and that was hard for you? Is that what this is about?
It was interesting to say the least.
It sounds tough because it's
my mom
because of how fun it was.
And my great grandma, who's on my dad's side, had planned it for a long time to go away. And then, sometimes when you spend a lot of time together with family, things can go bad. Well, that's kind of what happened here. It started off, I guess, when we were eating breakfast somewhere. My brother wanted cereal. My grandma, whose big thing was always...
At a restaurant?
Yeah.
He wanted cereal at a restaurant?
Yeah, but her big thing was always...
Never had
Have you had a BM today?
Oh.
Oh, boy.
And as kids, we didn't know what that meant.
So you could have brand?
Well, that's what she wanted.
Brand.
My mom said, it's his vacation. He can have whatever he wants. So that kind of set the tone where things kind of started going downhill.
Cereal at a restaurant's a weird choice anyways.
Well,
I didn't even know that they had it handy.
I think it was like a Hojo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said that like I knew what that meant.
Well, they have the little boxes maybe, and
yeah, probably.
What's a Hojo?
Howard Johnson.
Isn't he a singer?
That's Howard Jones. Howard Johnson was...
It sounds like more
motel,
like a department.
Wasn't it like a motel and
yes,
had like a restaurant?
Oh,
in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, that's kind of set the tone. Things started going downhill a little bit from there.
After you wanted breakfast cereal at a restaurant, I can see that going down south pretty quick.
Fast forward, we get to Disney.
Oh, that must have been nice.
It was nice for a while.
But they didn't have many rides because this was like just after Steamboat Willie.
Honestly, it wasn't far. It wasn't far from
Snow White had just hit theaters.
They hadn't built Epcot yet. Well, this was the Disney in Florida, obviously.
Is that the world or land? Did you verify that information?
I don't know.
It feels like it would have been.
I think it's.
Did you go
I think
Florida
it's
both
world.
times?
I think it's world.
That's world.
I think it's land in California.
Yeah.
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 Did you guys? So you and Mom both went to World,
Yes.
and then just. And I want to harp on this, but you took us to neither.
I don't want to harp on this.
Yeah.
However,
kind of harping.
Neither land nor world.
But you're kind of harping on this.
Okay. Well, somebody's got to say it.
We're there.
it's part of the disaster.
Monsanto's.
Like a conquistador?
No. Like the big.
The lawn care, or
Yeah.
the
Chemical company.
yeah.
You were going for that?
No. They not advertise, but
At Disney World?
yeah. No, not but sponsored.
Sponsored.
Sponsored
Okay.
Disney World?
They sponsored it was a 360 movie.
Oh,
Where you got sprayed with pesticides? Oh, it's interactive. Oh, we can't breathe.
you guys are the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
We're gonna spray.
No, it was kind of cool. They
That's
had
how
like
Camp Lejeune started.
like you were they would
Drink
show
the water
different
after
things.
that.
Like one of the things I remember
Have you ever
is
friend experience?
is like you're on a fire truck going down the road and stuff, and it's
You're
all
a
around.
mosquito?
But
Yeah.
on this particular trip, we were on our way into this, and my grandma was like, "Whose idea was it to see this anyway?" And you know your grandma.
I do know my grandma. She's your mother?
My mother
My grandma?
doesn't take things like that very well.
Oh,
And she's like, "I did, but we don't have to watch it. We've turned around. Now we're entering this place, and you know, anytime it's a ride or anything, there's a long line of people, you know,
Yeah.
all going in."
Also, there's a lot of lines at Disney World.
Anyway, we were near the front of this line.
Flipped it around.
We flip it around. We're like salmon going upstream against people, trying to get out of this place.
Happiest place on earth?
Happiest place on earth.
it's
Not this day.
good
It
vibes.
was good vibes only. It was not good, to say the least.
So you walked all the way back
Walked
through
all
that.
the way back through the crowd of people, and we did not go.
Probably saving you from mesothelioma.
Possibly.
Because the pesticides. They were pumping in there.
But so we did not get to see the 360 theater that day. We saw that when we went back again on our
I
second
ran it back.
time.
Oh, was Grandma with you then?
Like you
No.
we're just pouring salt in the womb on that one.
I probably was.
I think I said womb. Wound.
Wounded.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, we went and got ice cream there.
Sounds nice.
We leave the ice cream place,
Was it like Mickey Mouse shaped?
probably.
I'm just trying to get a picture because I have no point of
Well,
reference.
I do remember my brother and I wanting Mickey Mouse ears, as any kid would when you're at Disney.
I can imagine that's be what you want.
My grandma's, she's going to buy us hats, okay?
Okay.
Well, she says we need a bill on our hat because, you know, to keep the sun off our
Sun.
faces. Yeah.
Well, you are in Florida.
So we're the only two idiots walking around Disneyland with Donald Duck hats with a duck bill. Not mouse
Pretty
ears.
sweet. Did they have the goofy ones too?
I don't think so.
I've seen goofy ones before.
Yeah.
With the snout
That
and
might
the
have been,
ears.
that might have been better.
But you had
We
the
weren't
duck
very
ones.
happy with that. But, you know, and I say this, Grandma's passed now. And things
just
were
passed us
patched
now?
up later on. But during this trip,
passed again?
things
She's just walking in front of us.
things got rather ugly that day.
Oh,
So,
After the hat stuff?
well,
most of all of it.
Was that
the trip in general, yeah, there was more after that.
ice cream?
Grandma got lost separated from us when we got the ice cream.
Seems like
Really?
you didn't seize an opportunity.
Probably not.
You should have
So
bowled.
we had to
them.
like go back and find her.
Oh,
And my mom, you know, was getting a little irate at this point, and she's like, take that lady, take her and put her on a bench and park her there.
So your mom wasn't happy.
She was not happy with Grandma at this point. And so I think Grandma sat there on the bench for a while. She did ride Peter Pan's flight with us, and it just had like bench seats.
Okay.
And you're like flying through London or wherever it was.
To be honest with you, I don't think you were flying. I think you were on a ride.
We were on a ride. But when you're standing, you walked out, and it came up to you, and the bench like smacked Grandma on the butt. And she was not happy.
So it was almost like a gondola.
Yeah, pretty much. And my mom thought that was pretty funny.
Before you took off, did you have to think happy thoughts?
I think so. I might have been singing.
That's the only way to go.
That's true. That's what I've heard.
On this trip, every tire on my dad's car blew out at one point or another.
That's amazing.
Really?
Yes. So, like, the fourth tire was blown out. Pouring rain. You know how Florida will have, like, those downpours where it's just
random,
coming down like crazy.
Pouring down.
Well, it was raining like crazy. A semi had gone by and blown the car off the jack.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, we're all in the car. Dad's out there doing this. My grandma was like, I think someone should go out and help him. Well, this is before your grandpa had come to Christ, so he was out there saying a few choice things.
It was like the scene from A Christmas Story.
Yes, right.
Grandma couldn't, she was older by now.
Except
she was probably maybe in her 60s at this point, late 60s or whatever. But she couldn't hear Dad. Mom could hear him, and she's like, "We'll go right ahead."
Did she go out?
So Grandma goes out, and Dad said a few choice things to her. She came back and sat in the car. It's like, I guess he doesn't need it.
Change your tune a little.
Yeah, the tune changed really quick at that point.
Oh man!
But yeah, and mom said that if she had seen Vacation, but this was before the movie ever came out.
Okay,
loosely based.
Yeah, it seems like it. She said that Grandma would have ended up tied to the roof of the car. Oh, but one of the best parts though, Dad had taken us and we were somewhere else.
He was dancing with a sandwich.
Yeah.
He was
a dog it. But Grandma told Mom that she was just going to fly home. And she was,
really?
They were in the car, and so Grandma said, "I'm just going to fly home." And she starts to get out of the car, and Mom said, "I hope your broom holds up." Grandma said, "What?" And she said, "I hope you have a safe trip."
Oh, I could hear your mom.
Yeah. You know her well enough.
Under her breath.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
so that was
that's awesome.
That was that trip. So that was pretty interesting.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff.
Scott, I want you to share your trip. Was you guys going to Boston or whatever, some music festival?
Oh, yeah, we were. I think it was when
you were going to see Boston at a music festival.
I think we had. There was a music festival up in Boston, and we were heading out, and I think we were supposed to go that Friday and get up there. I think we were driving straight through. So it wasn't like we were getting up in the morning. This was after work.
Oh, wow.
So we were going to be leaving at 5 or 6. So Drew was supposed to meet us at the apartment. This is when we lived in Ackerman Road near campus in Columbus. And then we were supposed to go from there. So I think we were going to take Drew's car. And we started out, and I think we got down the road a little bit. I don't think we were on the highway yet, and his car conks out. So we're like, ooh.
Swinging a bit.
We got a long way to go yet. So I mean, we had a AAA or whatever come out, tow his car back to our parking lot, and then we were going to take our used Volkswagen. I don't even know what the heck it was.
Some sort of Volkswagen.
It was not a Bug, but some other model.
Yeah.
I don't know. It had 4 doors. And, of course, we weren't necessarily prepared to take this thing all the way to Boston. So we're like, oh, man, okay, well, I mean, the other thing was he was going to go up there and see his girlfriend at the time who had moved from Columbus, Carla.
To Boston?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she went back with her parents. They wanted to move back to Boston, and she ended up getting a job there, which that's a whole other story. But it's a shame that Drew didn't end up with her because I think they were very well matched. But that happened, and it never came. They came back together. But anyways, so we're heading out, and I think the whole I'm saying literally, the whole trip was rain. I mean, either harder rain or lighter, but I remember it just being rain all through the evening. And anyways, our windshield wipers stopped working. I mean, they're gone. The motor or something is unbelievable. Because we knew, we were like, well, we don't know about this car. It was a used Volkswagen. It was, we had no...
Had been put to the test.
Put to the test, yeah. So we go, well, what are we going to do? And, we're all trying to think of something. And I think somebody, I don't know who it was, mentioned, well, we can try this. And the idea was to get some shoelaces and then tie them to the windshield wipers, each of them. And then they were going to be... pulled. So I was going to sit sitting in the passenger side.
Sounds like the Three Stooges or something.
Yes, definitely like that. And Drew was sitting in the back behind Nancy, who was driving, and then I was sitting in the passenger side. So the windshield or the windows would be down enough so we could do one of these. And of course, we would. At the beginning, it would be pulling in the same way, and the things like we're going to break it. And I said, we got to get on the...
So you have to do like a
rhythm.
row.
So we're doing 1, 2, 1, 2, until we got it. We didn't do it the whole trip, but it was so we got it.
Did you find a song that had the right beat?
Yeah. Well,
Staying Alive or something?
Staying Alive. Yeah.
No good Boston songs.
That's what it was. Yeah, I think it was. Might have been a Debbie Gibson song, but it was "Shake Your Love" or something. So we were doing the 1, 2, and then of course this is for a couple hours.
Yeah,
and our hands are getting, from the shoelace rubbing against them, and they're turning red and stuff, and we're like, geez, I mean, good Lord, we got a ways to go here. So then somebody comes up, well, we got socks
for your hand.
Yeah, we got socks that we can use because we of course packed. Oh yeah, that's great. Well, what we'll do is we'll tie the shoelace onto the sock because they were rolled up, right? Yeah. And then we'll have like soft handles to do that. Oh yeah, that's great. And I think we were probably early 20s even then, so they don't know nothing. I mean, it's like you just do something,
Yeah.
And basically we went all the way to Boston, and that was that. My director's telling me time's running out.
You went to wrap-up music.
That was it.
If there's more, you can fish it on the other side.
Oh, I think that's...
This break.
When I first started having bladder control problems, my first thought was the bulky adult diapers that my grandpa used to have to wear. That was my first thought.
His very first.
I couldn't imagine wearing those lumpy diapers with the top hanging over your pants. And then on top of that, they would leak, leaving me with wet pants. Man. But when a co-worker told me about Grampers, they're not your grandpa's adult diapers. In fact, Grampers with their moisture-wicking fibers are as comfortable as any brand of expensive underwear you might buy. But Grampers has an added feature that comes in handy for anyone who gets thirsty through the night. Ooh.
What?
Reverse osmosis filter with tubing right to your drinking glass. Oh, gosh. Great for folks who are really into recycling. Get yourself a box of Grampers today. They're not your grandma's adult diapers.
Grandpa.
Correction, grandpa's adult diapers. That's almost like Dune.
And we're back. Scott, would you like to finish up that?
Sure. Real quick. I was brief towards the end, but we did get all the way up to Boston. And, of course, our hands are still, they're red and everything. Chafed. Yes. Chafed. Nice word. And then when we were, we did the festival or whatever, and we're coming back and we didn't get it fixed. So of course we've got the whole thing going on again. Drews would take the passengers, I would sit in the back. We kind of change positions, and
so you don't wear one arm out.
Well, yeah, yes. I think it snowed actually earlier from Boston because of course it's further north. Yeah. I think this was mid to late fall, maybe. Okay. Somewhere in there. So it was snowing a little bit, so we were still...
I've heard Boston's beautiful in the fall.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the fall, I remember. Because we were on a...
well.
Well, I do. It's good that you jog my memory, because that's cool, because I remember us going to a record store there in town, and there were buckeye trees.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, really? Like in the city, in the sidewalks where they plant the trees. I was like, wow, there's buckeye trees up here? That's pretty wild. Yeah. So anyways, we went all the way back home doing the rowboat deal. And it was crazy.
Was the festival good? Was it worth it? Was the trip worth it?
It was all right. Yeah, we met some people, and it was kind of neat.
That's good.
I think we were invited to play on some barge.
Oh,
really?
But there was no way we could get back up there. And it would have just been to play for some...
That'd be crazy.
I don't think it was, you guys are so good.
Yeah.
Your particular music's so good, we want you. I think it was just,
We got a barge.
Yeah, we got a barge. You guys can come on and play. We'll try to work you in there.
Want to open up on this? We got a big barge show coming up.
Big barge show.
We think you'd slot in real nice.
Yeah.
We got a 5 o'clock.
Funny story though. The last story I have was when we were at a show. They had a band called the Posies, who were a Seattle band during that time in the early 90s. They were pretty good. And they were playing, and...
how many people were in that band? Like a pocket full?
Yeah.
A pocket full of Posies?
4 or 5 Posies, yeah. So they were playing, and I think they finished, and they were kind of, a couple of them were at the back of the room. They were on a table, and they might have been signing some things. And so there was a lot of people there standing around, blah, blah, blah. And we had a CD that we had finished, and we had decided, I think Drew said, why don't you go over there and talk to him about giving the CD or something,
Yeah.
So I go over there, stand in line with a couple of other people, and then it's my turn. And I said, hey, it's a great band, you guys sounded good. I said, we have a band, of course, and we have the CD, wouldn't mind listening to it. Do something with. So he kind of looks at it and he leans in real close to me, and I, of course, like you lean in, almost like it's a voluntary thing, and I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty cool.
He's gonna say something.
He's gonna say something, kind of profound, or some kind of knowledge, exchanged here, and so I'm leaning in, and he goes, I don't know how to say this, but your fly's undone. I turned up like that, and I looked down, and of course, try to be sly. Okay, well, nice. And that was so that was her brush with fame at the time.
You had flashed
some guy
from a band.
I mean, they were signed to Geffen.
Oh, yeah.
They did 4 or 5 albums, and so I mean, they were a bona fide act. It wasn't some local, and so that was it.
And you had revealed yourself to them.
You would reveal, not in the good way.
Oh man!
But that's my little story. So.
Yeah.
That's classic.
That is hilarious.
That's classic. So no more trips to Boston.
You're not allowed back? Because the zipper thing?
I won't let myself go back.
Oh, man.
Do you have any stories from growing up on Vacation Stories, kid? Or Scott?
What?
Like family vacations stories?
Oh, no.
He doesn't want to talk about that.
Not this time. That maybe another time.
Oh.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to.
Well, I
didn't know if you had.
Oh, I did, but I chose that one.
Oh, that's okay. You can tell more than one story.
Nobody's watching anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
well, I thought
it's for entertainment. I mean, I can speak after you're done.
Yeah. We got
Keep grooving.
We got
nothing but time.
Oh.
We didn't waste just a huge chunk of time a couple minutes ago or anything. With the thing, with that.
Well, the one family one we went on was the Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
That's probably been 20 years ago now, but we decided to do the old horse, kind of the horse trail ride.
Okay.
And I had been on a horse maybe twice, briefly, and I don't know about the others in the family, if they had it all or what, and Nancy had some riding experience because she had a horse when she was younger. But anyways, so we get on these horses, they tell us, okay, you're going to go up this ridge, you're going to come back through, but they know where they're going. So you just stay on the horse.
Let the horse do the work.
Let the horse do their thing. And he said the only thing, try to keep them from eating, because they, of course, reach over and get the leaves, and all that. So, okay, fine. So we get on our horses, and of course if you guys remember or ever gotten on a horse, I mean the full-grown horses, they're pretty large animals. So you're trying to get up on these things, and my nephew at the time, Seth, he got on his horse.
He's still your nephew, right?
Yeah, at the time, yes. He's still with us
currently. Oh no!
His horse, while we're waiting to go, his rear end must have itched, so the horse is backing up into this fence and just and Seth's on there like he's riding this thing, and we're looking back at Seth.
What's going on back there? You guys need a minute?
So that's how it starts, We're laughing. So we get on the trail and we're going up the ridge, and we're kind of stopped now. The horses are in line. I think Mom was first, my Shelley, and then Sean and Tara and Seth, Nancy and myself, and Dad was in the rear. So we're getting up this, and Dad's going, whoa, Rusty.
Is that the horse's name?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm like, we're like...
That's what he called Scott.
Yeah, that's what he called.
Whoa, Rusty.
So we're hearing Dad, and of course... We're trying to turn around in your saddle and look at him, but you're not. You're trying. You're a little, reticent because you're trying to go forward, not die. Not die.
Try mostly not to.
So 2 things happen. The horses have stopped now, and some of them are reaching over into the tree line and grabbing leaves, or they're eating, and of course they're ripping a few and everything, they're not supposed to, so we already have something we're not supposed to. Then Dad's, periodically you hear him go, whoa, whoa, Rusty, whoa, whoa. So we look over, and Dad's saddle has now slid this way. So the horn is actually sticking off the side of the horse. So Dad's like this, and he goes, whoa, whoa. And I said, and you've heard a side saddle. Well, this is real on the side. On the side saddle. So anyway, Dad, he just about goes completely under the horse, falls off, down into the leaves or the trail, and whatever. Whoa, Rusty, ow! Boom, he falls down. We're all looking back. And Dad's trying to shake himself off, and he's trying to get on the horse. And of course, these are big animals. There was a tree stump there, and Dad's trying to put his feet on it and see if he can get over. Of course, he's fallen off of the stump and it's fallen over. And he's, got it, Rusty, hold still. And part of it was the saddle wasn't snug enough, so when Dad was trying to grab the saddle, it was moving.
Of course,
yeah.
So Nancy got off her horse and kind of did the old hand thing and got Dad up on the horse. So then we're going down the trail a little farther, and we're going down to this kind of ravine where it looks like there's like a little creek.
Okay.
Where there's trickle of water. And of course it's muddy down there. And then we're going to go up an incline. So the horses kind of gingerly go down and then they go up. And so a couple of them, I think Sean's horse went over, Mom's went horse, and then Dad was going into the little, creek bed. And I don't know what happened. We don't know because some of us turned after some of it had happened.
Yeah.
Somehow Dad's horse got stuck in the muck and he was trying to kick himself out of it. When that happened, Dad fell off the rear of the horse.
Oh my gosh.
And was in
the
mud, and the horse is
kicking back.
Oh no. So we're like, Dad, you all right? And Dad's kicking the horse's rear. He's got a footprint of his on the horse's butt. And so he eventually gets out from under the horse. He stands up, and I think the guide was further up. We didn't have a guide, but the guide showed up later, and he was further up. And he's like, are you all right? Yeah, I think I'm all right, Dad says. Yeah, I think Dad. Then Sean yells out, because the only thing we got, and this is what we come at, well, get his hat for crying out loud. Of course, we're not getting off our horses to give him the hat.
Right.
But I think the guy got off his horse or found his hat or whatever. Then as we're coming in the home stretch, and this is the last of it, I don't know what happened to Mom's horse. It was like it took off. And it was like something out of a movie. Because you're going...
Like a chase?
Yeah. It was like a long, gradually decline, trail into the, the area where they take the horses. So we're kind of, galloping a little bit. Mom, we're looking back, just... Go! We're like, go, Mom, go! Slapping him. She's taking him in her dust, rolling everything.
Like she's chasing down a train.
Yeah, she was bandit on the run or something. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
your last equestrian vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's great.
And of course, you know how your stories are. You always bring them up.
Oh yeah,
that's good stuff.
Definitely.
Of course.
That's my one of the family ones.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Would you care to give us your vacation disaster, Caleb?
Yeah, we were going on a family trip to France, and Mom and Dad left me at the house all by myself, and I had to fend off.
This is Home Alone. This is Home Alone.
Okay. We were going to New York for the holidays.
Again, Home Alone, big Christmas.
And Mom and Dad left me in the airport.
Home Alone 2.
Okay, all right. So we would always go to the same place every year, and they had a water slide, and Dad thought it would be fun for us all to go, and it ended up not being fun. It ended up being a nightmare, and he let me break my collarbone due to poor parenting choices. And it ruined my birthday and that whole vacation. And my therapist says maybe my life.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
And it broke my collarbone. And you can't really do anything for that. So I just had to have it in the sling the whole time. I did get a pretty sweet Space Jam sling out of it. So that was pretty cool.
But so there was that.
Yeah, well, I mean, not too many guys my age had a Space Jam sling. But just through, failed parenting. That's really it. Did he let me go? He did. Were we supposed to be riding down together? We were.
That's not exactly how it happened.
Well, it's not how it happened.
We'd gone down.
It's revisionist
already. We'd already gone down the big slide. There was 2 slides there. We'd gone down the big slide. Mm-hmm. No problem.
Okay. And you thought this time
Caleb was having a good time.
You were both went.
Yeah. He was he
held on to me.
He was little, so he was
on me that time
in my lap.
Okay.
Secured me. That time around.
We went down the small slide,
and he said, "Good luck, sucker!" And then he shoved me. You've seen A Christmas Story where he kicks him?
No,
it was like
Santa Claus.
Yeah, it had this really tight
boot to the face
curve right off the start, and so we hit that tight curve, and he went flying out of my lap.
Oh, and how did that happen? Because you had too good of a grip on me.
But he flew
smacked up against the wall.
Oh.
It was completely encased right there.
Okay.
So you didn't fly out.
Yeah, it was all
but he smacked up against it real hard.
Ouch.
Well, I got back hold of him, and we finished the ride, and we got down to the bottom, and he's like, "Oh, my
shoulder." And Dad said, "You're fine."
No, I didn't.
You'll be. It's just toughen up, champ. He gave me that little, come on, just a little. Get it. You're fine.
No, I remember I touched his shoulder and his collarbone, and it moved. And so I reached up and touched mine, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to.
That makes you feel good that he had to do that.
Well, I'd never had a broken collarbone. Yeah. I'd never paid that much attention to my collarbone.
Tell me you're not a doctor without telling me you're not a doctor.
And I'm like,
bones, no move.
This is not good.
Poor Caleb.
And we had to call. Kim was with my mom. They were at this place called Whatchagonnawannado Pottery Barn. Mall or whatever it was.
I don't think it's a pottery barn. I think that's a different. That's a business.
Some kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It was Whatchagonnawannado Pottery, but it was just this big place that had all kinds of tourist trap stuff, and they were there. So we had to call them. This was before cell phones and stuff. So we had to call them, and they were paged, and then they had to rush back from the Myrtle Beach area back up to where we were, and. We were at the emergency room. Poor little 6-year-old Caleb had to get.
I remember.
And it was like early in the week, so the rest of the week he had to wear that sling.
The sling.
And for those of you listening, you wouldn't even know that was my story.
Well, I mean, I let you tell it, but it really
got a little.
It really sounded worse than.
Oh, okay. Well, some of us reported truths, and some of us did a little bit of a fluff piece.
I just told what really happened.
I think one of us told what really happened, and one of us kind of tried to, a little CYA there at the end.
I'm not sure about that.
See this?
I'm just saying.
This is what happens with legacy media. This is the problem.
This is where it goes.
Yeah. But to the tell you the truth, I mean, listening to either one, not good.
Not good.
No, it wasn't
either
good.
one.
I mean, I felt horrible.
I don't care for water slides. I don't like thrill-seeking things at all. Roller coasters, water slides, anything where I could break a bone because of someone else's negligence. And I'm not pointing fingers.
But I do want to clearly state,
Yeah.
Dad.
I didn't say any names.
not pointing fingers.
Yeah. Just somebody else maybe dropped the ball.
Somebody else.
Well, we got any others? How about our hurricane vacation?
Yeah, I had a vacation in a hurricane.
Yes.
Wow.
We got evacuated.
Yeah. To a church.
Well, first we went to my grandma's
I don't
because
recall.
she was still. They were still alive, and they lived down there at the time. We go to my grandma. They lived 3 miles inland from the ocean.
Some would say not enough.
Well, that's what Grandma said that because she's like, I'm not staying here because it was. I want to say it was like a Category 3 at the time. Before it made landfall, I think. Yeah. Hurricane Bertha.
It's a sexy name.
I want to say it was like a 3 when it was out, in the ocean before it made landfall.
Your grandma said she
said we're not staying here.
That's bad when your grandma lives
She's
down
like,
there.
we're going to my church for shelter there. So we went to my grandma's church, and honestly, I mean, other than the fact that there's this terrible storm going on, it was kind of fun because we knew a lot of people there from my grandma living there, and so everyone's in like the fellowship hall playing board games and cards and things like that.
Oreos, though. That part was pretty cool. Oreos are a good time, no matter what kind of weather. Tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons.
I remember before we left the beach, though, we walked out on the pier. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When the waves would
and the
hit,
end of it snapped off. We almost lost my brother.
This did not happen
because Mom grabbed him because Dad was standing right there holding his hand until the wave hit.
This did not happen. But
this did not happen.
When the waves would hit the pier, you could actually feel it. Like, I mean, those piers are
and Dad
sturdy.
said, "Just get out there. You're fine." He said, "Quit crying."
There was people. There was people out trying to surf.
There were people
trying to surf the storm surge, and it was crazy. We saw this guy, he paddled out, and a wave would hit him and bring him back,
And sharks were flying onto the shore.
There were sharks. I remember he got like washed under the pier.
Died. That's where he died.
No.
Oh. But he
went
couldn't
through.
die.
But
There was a chance
those
of that.
pylons are covered in barnacles and stuff. If he would have hit one of them, it would rip him apart.
Shredded him.
But then we went to Grandma's. We went to the church. We're at the church. The storms come in. Finally hit.
Getting some more.
And you look out the window, and like the pine trees just, they're
touching
just
the ground.
Yeah, laying on their
little
side.
kiss.
I must have been some great Oreos, though.
Oreos are pretty good. I remember the Oreos.
Hurricane Oreos are the best.
They are.
Well, this
Could be your last Oreo.
That's going to be your last. Yeah. It's like eating your last.
They were single stuff, so that part was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
You want to go out with two.
Wish there were double stuff.
Yeah, double stuff for sure when you're not about to bite it.
You got a hurricane, 4-scale winds coming down. You want double stuff.
When death is imminent, you'd like a little extra cream.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the extra cream gonna hurt?
That's right. At that point. Yeah.
Right. Well, this guy goes and tries to open the screen door. What happened?
The screen door opened. I didn't open.
No, you were there. You were opening the screen door, and the wind, of course, catches
have a
it.
screen door?
It had like a storm door.
Oh, okay.
Because we were in the
Oh,
fellowship hall was separate from the church. There was like a drive-through. There was like a
sanctuary.
driveway.
I was transported to Kansas for a second. I thought Annie was... Well, the screen door, she went and opened it, and away she went.
There was a drive-through kind of area, walkway where you could pull up, and so he opened the door and the wind caught it and just ripped it off.
Ripped it off?
Ripped it off the, yeah.
Wow.
And then someone chased it down. Like, this is something we needed.
Yeah. We obviously felt terrible because it wasn't our church, you know. But,
Well, it's not like I did it. I didn't
also,
like
he
do it
was
with sheer strength.
He was just a little guy, and we're also worried he's going to get sucked out the door.
Yeah, they didn't care so much about that. It was more the door.
That's
it. You idiot. No, that's not true.
Joke with that door.
I have a little bit more I want to talk about the hurricane.
Okay.
Just one little quick little story.
So they had Oreos. They did have Oreos.
They did have Oreos.
I think that's us.
When
Some of the best.
when we first
Ever.
got to the church, they got a room for us basically to sleep in, and it was one of the Sunday school classrooms. Well, I think my dad and I had like gone out and picked out whatever room we're gonna be in.
Okay.
Real nice
Well,
room.
it was like in the corner of the church, and so there's like windows on two sides.
You guys went and picked it out?
I think that's what happened.
This
That
really
sounds about
sounds
right.
Well,
Well, with my dad's history of picking rooms, I would say yes. Well, Kim and Mom came up. They obviously did not like this idea. They're like, "There's windows. There's a storm. You know, we don't want to be by a window." So they moved rooms. So it got pretty late in the night. You know, we're out down there playing games and stuff, and it was, well past midnight. We finally decided we're going to go to bed.
okay.
And Dad was still down there, talking, eating Oreos, potato chips, good stuff.
Sounds like your dad.
It does. And Dad didn't know that we had changed rooms.
Oh no.
So we're all up there. We're just, kind of half in and out, falling asleep. We hear my dad knock on a door, and we hear the door open, and
It's
he's
not
like,
your door,
No, it's not our door. And we hear him say, "Bonnie," and we hear a voice say, "Uh-uh." And Dad's like, "Oh, sorry." He shuts the door. He finally found our room. No one went and told him, like, "Hey, Dad, we're in here." But I'll never forget that voice. Oh.
But that guy had a belly full of Oreos. He was settled in for the evening.
That sounds like yeah.
He did not want that.
He was like, "I'm not sharing this room."
So that's how we rode out the hurricane. Once in a lifetime story.
It was a good time.
It was a good time.
That sounds like some fun.
It was eventful.
Yeah.
At least you didn't break your collarbone then.
No.
So you got that going
Not that
for you.
year.
Not that big. They weren't too far apart.
Really?
Probably not. And I can't remember if that was before or after.
They all
Kind of run together. It seems like you were really small though when that happened.
I remember it though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Oreo stuff. Mostly.
It's crazy that you remember Oreos.
Oh, I never forget Oreos.
What I remember is like
I got a journal that tells you like it's just the Oreos time. It's the Dear Oreo journal. That's how I start every entry.
That's how I address it.
I had one of those whoopie pie ones today. Pretty good. Dear Oreo journal. Ice cream? What?
When I grow up, I'm going to have me a double stuff.
That's right. That's the dream.
Once I reach the age.
Paul says, "Well, I'm a big boy."
It's like that.
I can eat
Here
all
on
the
Walton's
Oreos.
mouth. Well,
Paul said, "One day, if I get big enough, I can get a mega stuff." And I reckon that would be good.
I reckon.
I'm sure it was.
There was another vacation where we were teenagers. Well, I was a teenager. You weren't, because that mathematically doesn't make sense. I was a teenager, and we had some buddies with us. I had some buddies with me, and they were also teenagers.
Yes.
And I went out on the deck really late at night, and they locked me out and went to bed.
Really?
I had to sleep out there. And we're down south. It gets gross. It gets sticky. So I had to sleep outside. I had a blanket, but it was like you didn't want the blanket. No. It was gross. Yeah. It was sticky. I think I slept maybe 30 minutes, and it was a nightmare. Plus, everything's making noises. There's always it's always cicada season in the south. It feels like.
This was like a little fun on there.
I mean, let's be honest. They were idiots. So I don't know if they meant to or didn't mean to. I know that they 100% didn't answer the door when I hit it. Nobody did. They just went in there and ate all the snack cakes and went to sleep. Yeah. Probably Oreos.
Probably Oreos. Yeah. Again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
One in particular, definitely.
One of his buddies was eating everything.
Yeah, I was not getting to things. Like I just saw the box going in the trash, and I was like, I didn't even know we had those.
And they're gone.
And he said had, and they dropped them. We had them.
Our director took his first steps while we were down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he also ate handfuls of sand. So.
That sounds about right.
It's not just right. There's photographic evidence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He does that every time we go now.
Yeah.
Was it a dietary thing? He wasn't getting enough.
He has pipe gut.
Pipe gut, yeah. Ouch.
A lot of glass, a lot of rocks, a lot of dirt.
Pipe gut.
The doctor said he's a simpleton. I think it might be because Dad dropped him.
Dad dropped him.
He was holding on to him like he was holding on to me for the water slide. He had that water slide grip on him, which is barely holding on. And he bounced his head off the...
This is untrue. This is not true.
Well, if you met him, you might think maybe it is.
Straight into the sand, his mouth open, and gobbled up a mouthful of sand.
Yeah. And that started his problem. So he got his first taste of that sweet, sweet sand.
Sweet, sweet sand. Yeah. No Oreos for that guy.
No, he doesn't need it.
He doesn't.
Why, when God gave you something better than Oreos? Fistful of sand. Nature's Oreo. Sand. Sand. Where cats see a litter box, Silas sees snacks.
Snack time. Mouths full of sand.
Just pouring out. We never could take him around sandboxes after that.
Most kids make sand castles. He eats them.
He makes a meal. We go by him and be like, my gosh, that looks delicious. We have to pull him back in. Like, you can't just take bites out of that.
Gosh, that looks delicious. Look at that turret on that. That looks mighty good.
Is that a buffet?
It's a buffet.
It's a little tight turtle sandbox. Get away from it.
Get away.
Those kids are trying to play.
Yeah.
Those kids are
People are looking at you. Cut it out.
Oh boy.
He's the only kid I've ever known that salivated watching the moon sand commercials on TV.
This whole segment's probably going to get cut.
Well, if he's wise,
he's not going to leave that in.
No, I'm sure he won't.
It's all gold, though.
It's all gold. It's all gold.
Do you find yourself, like I do, searching through the kids section of every winter for a pair of gloves to fit your tiny hands, only to end up purchasing a pair of little girls' mittens with the pom-pom on the end of the strings to tie them together when you take them off? That felt really wordy. Well, I've got good news for you, for guys like us. We are full-grown men cursed with hands the size of 7-year-old girls. Thanks to Microtoners, we can now wear gloves that look just like guys with normal man-sized hands wear. And Microtoners comes in all the styles that are normal, that their normal size gloves do, only much, much smaller. If you order today, they'll toss in a string pom-poms on each end, because studies show. Yeah, I mean, I already can't read. You might as well not put all the words in, so I just sound dumber. The dudes with little girly size hands appreciate the comfort of knowing they're not going to lose their gloves when they take them off. Hey, whoever wrote this isn't afraid of a run-on sentence. Get yourselves some Microtoners today and keep your little tiny hands cozy wozy next winter. That Harry Connick Jr. could really sing.
He could.
Last time, Scott, you had mentioned, if anyone's listening, they're not a believer, and if they feel like they're being drawn to Christ, you mentioned going to their local church, which is a good idea. Although we would probably all agree that you got to be really careful with the church that you pick, obviously. But you also mentioned reading the Bible, and I think that those are both excellent things.
Church and Bible, good.
Church and Bible are good. Yeah. Praying, asking God to reveal Himself to you, good as well. Is also very
three
good
things.
Three very good things. And Scott and I were talking about just people reading the Bible that aren't believers, and the Bible's not like any other book.
No, I've read it.
This is true. Kev's not much of a reader.
Unlike any other book, I've read this one.
But
it's among 3 of the books I've read.
Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson.
All the greats are there. All the literary classics. You got the Bible. You got Jackie Robinson's biography. You got Babe Ruth's autobiography. I mean, what else do you...
Well, that covers it.
Yeah.
That covers all of it.
Yeah. It's everything you need in life, really.
But we talked about that if you just picked up the Bible and started reading from, you're going to do great going through Genesis and Exodus. But then once you get to Leviticus, not really knowing anything, you're going to...
It's a lot of rules. A lot of things.
You're going to find a lot of rules, a lot of sacrifices and stuff, how to build the tabernacle.
Yeah, and you get into some real weird theology if you don't have a full grasp.
Right.
You'll be killing animals and people are not going to like you.
People are definitely not going to like you. Why is that guy got that tent and what's he doing now with the rams?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of blood over there.
There's a lot of blood.
This is not good. So
This is not good.
It ended up in a 911 phone call for sure.
Yeah.
I've always felt like people that are just new believers, or even people that are, trying to find out more about God, one of the best places they can start is in the book of John. So we're going to read the first couple paragraphs of John.
Read John in its entirety.
That's right, the whole book of John.
Are we all reading, or just us who are literate?
I'll read. That's fine.
That feels good.
Oh,
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He was a witness, to bear witness to the light, that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to bear witness about the light. The true light, which gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. To all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness about him and cried out, "This was he whom I said, 'He who comes after me ranks before me, because he was before me.' For from his fullness we have received grace upon grace. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, the only God who is at the Father's side. He has made him known." Yeah, so one of the reasons that I really love this passage is it starts out just as Genesis does, talking about in the beginning. And
mirrors it pretty heavily.
Yes. And it leaves you with no doubt that it's talking about Jesus as the Word. And it is letting you know that he was there all along. Mm-hmm. From the very beginning, Christ was there. And if you go back and you look at Genesis, you'll notice that when God is creating, he will speak things into existence through his Word. And that is Christ. Mm-hmm. If you look later in the Bible, in
Spoilers.
in the book of Hebrews, it talks about how everything that was made was not made through things that are visible. And that's just one thing I've always really enjoyed too. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
there's just so much in this passage, and it lets you, as we said, see that it was Christ all along. He's been there since the beginning, and now he's coming to his own people. And I think it's because of that, it's just a very good place to start. I think it might be a good idea, people that may be watching this that don't know us, give a little bit of background about who we are. I, for one, have been following Christ since I was very young, and I've read the Bible faithfully, studied it since I was a teenager. I've taught, Sunday school classes and youth groups, for many years. And so, studying the Bible is something that I've done for, many, many years now. Scott has been following the Lord for several years now, and of the three of us, Scott's probably the most well-read, most intelligent, well-spoken.
Well, I don't know about that.
We're giving you those props.
Okay. Just because you're more well-read doesn't mean anything.
Well,
it does mean a lot.
Yeah.
I still feel I'm pretty stupid.
But you're not.
But we're just saying in comparison to the table.
Yeah, it's what you're working with here.
I actually learned a lot from both.
Well, we can learn a lot from each other. Yeah. As it works. Caleb has studied for the ministry and has a degree.
I do have a degree.
And what's your degree?
Christian ministry.
So,
which is convenient because the Bible in its entirety is a Christian book.
It is a Christian book. So,
I'd say the first Christian book.
And I just think it's a good idea to let people know that, so that they, who are these guys that are talking to us.
But I will say I've gotten more knowledge from reading my Bible than in the 2 years it took me to get my degree.
Well, of course. And that goes with anything. You're always going to learn more studying on your own.
Well, I didn't feel like it needed to belittle, but I appreciate that.
Well, that goes without saying.
That's not what I meant at
all. That's what you said.
Is there anything that you would like to bring to light about these verses that we've read tonight?
No, I don't even know if I mean, I think you touched on everything in the verses. I just think the book of John is just, like you said, it's a great place for a new believer or a young believer to be, because it just reveals a lot about Christ and him, who he is, what he did, what he's doing.
Yeah. Very true.
A lot of the miracles are in there. It's just it's an easy read too.
Yeah,
Gets you pretty fired up.
Very, very much so.
Yeah, I think you get that perspective from John of someone greater than him. Mm-hmm. So you got John kind of bringing that to the reader.
Yeah.
I mean, that it's almost like an introduction to who this person is.
Yeah.
And I just think that's awesome.
It's a great book.
So as Caleb was saying, if you read through the book of John, you're going to get the life of Christ, as with all the Gospels. But John,
a bit more intimate.
Yeah. You'll see as you read, John refers to the disciple that Jesus loved. He's talking about himself.
Humble brag.
Yeah. But the other disciples, believe that too. They had a very close relationship, very, very great friendship. So, I mean, and that's just amazing. Can you imagine being that guy, that the Son of God has come to earth and you're like his best friend? Pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
That's amazing. So, and it can be confusing because John the Baptist, is talked about, and that's not the John.
John doesn't mention his own name.
Right.
He refers to himself as
the disciple that Jesus loved. I think the only time his name is mentioned when they talk about the disciples, isn't it?
I don't know. No, he never mentions his name. He doesn't. Yeah. He even drops. He won a foot race. The one who he loved. He talks about his little brag in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. That one disciple. I don't want to say his name. Pretty quick.
Yeah. Outran Peter.
Fastest disciple, some say. I'm not saying that, but other people have said that.
Others,
the 12, pretty quick.
You wouldn't want to race John.
No, he doesn't say. No, he doesn't say that.
That's what other people are saying.
Yeah, but now we're confusing people.
Definitely. But yeah, please start off with John. If you're just a new believer, or if you're someone who is just looking for the truth, and this is where you've come and this is where you want to start.
Yeah.
It's a great place to begin. Here at the What You Gonna Want to Do podcast, we love our Electrocute bikes. These e-bikes aren't just cute, they are shockingly cute. Every time I ride it, I can feel the excitement of electricity pulsing through my body. It is fun and life-changing. All riders experience a good time as well as non-lethal jolts of electricity. Non-lethal. And the most shocking part is they are real. When you think cute, think Electrocute.
Well, there's some cultural icons and luminaries, etc. Johnny Cash ended up
Man in Black.
passed away
I remember
today.
I grieved heavily.
Yeah,
Big Johnny Cash fan.
yeah, yeah. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who doesn't like Johnny Cash?
yeah. I was a big time Johnny Cash fan. Some other Louis C.K. was born. The comedian.
I've never been a big fan of him as a comedian, but
No.
personally, I think he's just what he does outside of comedy.
What he does outside of.
He's just a good stand-up guy. He's never gotten anything controversial.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Well, we'll move on.
Oh, okay.
Jesse Owens.
A Buckeye.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah. For all those, maybe read or say something about these people, in case our
Yeah.
couple of viewers out there don't
You know
know.
what? If you don't know who Jesse Owens is, go ahead and unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe.
No.
Because
I don't know who you are. I don't know if our production crew knows who Jesse Owens is.
Well, he's a track and field
Neither one
fella.
of them know.
Yeah,
Icon, sports icon, and
from the Ohio State University.
yes, he was.
Yeah,
The world famous.
4 gold medals at the 1936.
stuck it to
And the thing was the Olympic Games in Berlin.
In front of Hitler.
Yeah.
right.
We all know what
And he was
Hitler.
yeah, and an
believed
African American in front of
Yeah.
Hitler, sticking into him.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We beat him before we beat him. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's right.
Take that, Germany.
They should have seen it coming.
Yeah,
George Jones.
Ooh.
man, big
He
different
stopped
country.
loving her today.
Yeah.
No, he was born on this day. So
He started loving her
He
today.
started loving her.
I don't like that.
He did.
There's a reason that song wasn't written.
Yeah. I think that there's a good reason.
I don't feel good about that. I can't believe we just said that. People are going to hear that.
This is somebody in might know authors or whatever. Stanislaw Lem,
The Polish author?
the Polish author. Yeah.
Oh man, I read mostly Polish stuff.
You admitted earlier that you read 3 books.
Well, yeah, but the Polish stuff doesn't make sense, so it really takes no time. There's no comprehension, but I get through it pretty quick.
I those are some of the bigger names today. A couple of country
lot of
legends and Jesse
country
Owens. And,
Yeah.
it's quite a bit of actually.
Yeah. That's,
For a random day.
yeah. Those are pretty big names.
Yeah.
I have some weird news. I get updates from the local TV channel. They send them just to me.
The local TV channel. You get updates.
Nondescript.
Are you talking about the news?
Yeah.
Okay. You make it sound like just
Are you
I
talking
don't even
about
know.
the news?
Like the PBS is calling you or something. I don't even know.
Just news updates,
This felt weird.
Well,
I feel uncomfortable about this whole thing.
today I'm working on, I get like my phone buzzes, I look and it says, "Want to live longer? You may want to move out of Ohio."
This is from a local news
I
source?
thought, I'm being threatened by WHIO.
We've got a particular set of skills.
You want to live longer?
Yeah, you want to live longer. You may want to move out of Ohio.
And this is from a local news
Yes.
network? Isn't that shooting yourself in the foot?
That's what I thought.
Hey, we are trying to thin out our demographic.
Get outta here.
So why don't you pound pavement, bud?
Yeah.
Ohio ranks among the states with the shortest life expectancies across the country, according to a recent report from the Centers for Disease Control and
Probably
Prevention.
living by power plants and stuff. Or paper plants.
Paper planes.
Data released in late August shows that life expectancy in Ohio was 74.5 years.
That's
in
a good
2021.
lifespan.
That's pretty.
The national average is 76.4.
That's just a couple. That's a blip on the radar.
That's almost 2 years less.
What's 2 years amongst friends?
That's
Ohio women have 77.5 years.
really.
That's a lot of years.
Men 71.
Really.
Yep.
So it's actually
hold on. What did you just say?
71 or 72.
I thought you said it was 74. Now you're backtracking at
average.
71.
That's the average of both.
Of both.
Oh, okay.
When you
I got
average it
you.
out.
I got you.
So
Well, I
nationally, women are 79.3
Wow.
and men are 73.5.
Well, I would rather live. Okay, I'd rather live 71 years in Ohio than 2 years in Michigan.
Oh, I definitely there.
Yeah, definitely.
I would. Oh, yeah.
The highest average state, you guys want to guess?
California.
No.
No.
Colorado.
Where all the old white people live? Maine,
Oh, Maine. Yeah, that's good.
Delaware.
No.
Oregon.
No.
A little too much weed.
You want to
That's true.
Where's a normal amount of
think
weed?
outside
Connecticut,
the contiguous?
Oh,
Alaska,
No.
because the cold. Hawaii.
Boy.
really? Oh.
79.9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But there's like 8 people. There's like 8 people who are from Hawaii. Everybody else they're military that lives there now.
It's mainly all military.
Yeah. That's
The longest, or the shortest, I mean?
shortest. New Jersey.
That's what I was going to say, New Jersey.
Illinois, because everybody in Chicago is dying. Left to
Alabama.
You're close.
Oh,
Well, that doesn't help me. Florida.
Florida.
No,
you're going the wrong way.
all the old
Oh,
people.
Arkansas.
I know.
I don't know.
Stay on the golf.
Georgia.
The golf.
Oh, the Gulf of
Louisiana.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Louisiana? Missouri.
We
went too far.
We're really missing it, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, there's not too much left on the golf.
I don't go down there ever.
Texas.
It's not Texas. I was about to say it's not Texas.
Well, what else is down there?
There's one more state on the golf.
I don't think.
The river runs by.
A river runs through it. That's a movie.
What river might that be?
The Mississippi.
Mississippi.
So what state?
Oh, Mississippi.
Mississippi goes through a lot of states.
That's
I feel like he's
true.
trying to trick us.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, Mississippi. I've never met a person from Mississippi. Have you ever known anyone from Mississippi?
No one's from Mississippi. They don't really have people.
You just
what
took a
was the
stance
age
on
for
Mississippi
them?
that I took on Hawaii. I think people are going to be confused and think we don't think people live in other states. But if I don't know anyone from there, does it really happen?
That's true. That's true.
Is this all part of the simulation?
And finally, I have this. Breathe deep the gathering gloom. Watch lights fade from every room. Bedsetter people look back and lament. Another day's useless energy spent. Impassioned lovers wrestle as one. Lonely man cries for love and has none. New mother picks up and suckles her son. Senior citizens wish they were young. Cold-hearted orb that rules the night removes the colors from our sight. Red is gray and yellow white. But we decide which is right and which is an illusion. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I'd always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. 'Cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, how I love you. Gazing at people, some hand in hand. Just what I'm going through, they can't understand. Some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend. Just what you want to be, you will be in the end. And I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, how I love you. Oh, how I love you. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed.
Good night.
The Whatchagonnawannado podcast is brought to you by Scott Dog Productions and is made possible by viewers like you.